when I came to the museum, it was the great era of the open classroom, the British infant school system, and I didn't know much about museums at all. I knew I didn't like most classrooms. My kids, I had come back to Cambridge from living in Africa. My kids went to a local, extremely boring elementary school. I hated it. I got them into Cambridge Friends School after a while. I myself came out of progressive school, New York, Dewey kind of progressive school education, long ago, and Lincoln School. And in the 70s, it was a great moment, as you know, for that kind of way of thinking about education. It was very exciting. And the museum was doing it all. The schools, most of them were not doing it yet, except for rare occasions. But we were doing it. So that, for me, was a perfect fit. And another thing that was a perfect fit at the time was the women's movement of the 70s. Because here was a place where mostly it was women that I worked with, I often say to people, we didn't leave our private lives at the office door. Yeah. If you were distressed about something, you could talk about it. People would listen to you. If you felt really rotten, then you could go off somewhere else. And I can remember meetings when somebody would bring in a baby, and we'd play pass the baby during a meeting. You know, this was not happening in businesses that I knew anything about. And everything, it worked. You know, we got our work done. So that was very exciting to me. I think it was a focusing of these many different trends that I've talked about. The explosion of interest in experiential learning, in non-formal education, open classrooms, the women's movement, and the quirkiness, I want to say, in a way, of the group that was gathered. Yeah. Very disparate, yeah. These group of people, one from another. But all caring about what we were doing. So that was what made it work, I think.
Yeah, right.
But why? I mean, I think magic, to tell you the truth. I think a lot of it is quite mysterious to me.
Yeah.
Why it was so extraordinary.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
The only downsides that I can think of were no job security and working from grant to grant. But that wasn't the end of the world. I stuck around. And the only time I remember having an awful experience was I'd written a curriculum for a kid that drew on the work of a lot of different people. And I handed out a draft to everybody. And everybody said different things. And it drove me crazy. Parts of it, some people loved, other people hated. And at that time, I didn't have enough sort of sense of myself that I was doing this, and so I could pick and choose critiques that I got. Later on, I figured that out. But those are the only two things that I remember being hard. And that was from too much collaboration and not knowing how to sift and sort.
Right.